All right, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate you joining me back again for another episode. I hope everybody's having a good Thursday today, having a good week, and everybody's well and happy and enjoying life. I know sometimes life can be a little rough at times, but we always make it through, though. And I wanted to come on and say again, I just appreciate the outreach and support. People continue to call and hit me up and uh, give me their opinion on the first episode where I was really came out and very emotional and shared my story and somewhat of some detail, but some not detail. But in general message, you guys got an idea of what I've been going through the last 7 years, and man, just to hear other people's struggles through either anxiety, panic, agoraphobia, all different kinds of things. It's been something to sit back and listen to everybody and as they tell me their story and what they've been going through for years. And some people I've talked to have become more aware of it even recently. I even heard some people when they listened to my video, they had more of an idea maybe what was going on with them. They maybe identify with some of the things that I've been going through. And they said, oh, you know what, maybe that is what I'm going through. Maybe it's not a health problem. Maybe I don't have a physical ailment like I thought. Maybe it's just all in my mind. Maybe it is health anxiety. Maybe I do have agoraphobia or some type of phobia or, some type of just fear. And, that's like I always say, all of this is just a habit. That's what anxiety is. It's just a habit. And it's crazy. I sit and listen to everybody since Saturday night when the video dropped, and just to hear people say, for years, I've been doing this every day. This is how I managed to get through, and this is how I cope, and this is how I have been able to get through it. And it just sounds what it is. Anxiety is a habit. I just hear a lot of people going through habits, just continued habits, and they perpetuate the habit by, the more you act on something, the more you believe it's who you are. And I think a lot of people believe they are anxiety, that they have to live with this for the rest of their life, that this is who they are. I am anxiety. I am panic. I am agoraphobia. I am this. I am that. When really, you're none of those things. You are who you are. Your name, for me, I am Joseph Lamtman. I am who God created me to be. I am not anxiety. It's like you guys hear me reference a lot in the first two videos, the anxiety guy. Like he always says, I am more than anxiety. Well, I am more than anxiety. I'm more than all these things. I don't have to carry these labels and identities around with me the rest of my life. And that's something I've been going through recently. I'd say probably in the past couple weeks or so. Really in the last couple weeks. Last week in particular, I had a rough week at the beginning. But then towards the end, it led me to that mic. Something was pushing me to get to that mic. And I feel like last week, I really feel like God was allowing me to go through some trials to push me to a point to where, hey, he told me, like, hey, Joseph, I need you to start doing this now. No more holding it off. Like, get on the mic, share your story, and start sharing what you know. Do what you have a passion for, what you've wanted to do for a while. And so ever since I've done that, I've felt more free. And it's like I said in the first episode, the truth will set you free. And I've started to really feel that now. And I've started to feel more I don't have to hide anymore. People calling me now, like, hey, I didn't know you go through that, or text me or whatever. Hey, I didn't know you go through that have been going through that for the last 7 years. I didn't know, you had it that bad. I didn't know where you've been. I didn't, it's good to hear from you. I'm glad you shared and put it out there. And I appreciate all that, but I would say I encourage anybody to do the same thing, because what helped me was hearing other people. What helped me was the one day I found the anxiety guy on YouTube, and I heard him talk about symptoms and all these things, and it just opened up my whole world, and it started leading me to other people. He has a big community on Facebook and on YouTube, and it's people of all different kinds of anxiety, people going through anxiety, but different forms, different root causes, and different backgrounds. It's a very diverse group of just all different kinds of people and opinions, and just to see people on the Facebook group or in the comments of his videos and pages, and just to hear all these people going through it every day, the same thing you're going through. Now, some people go through a little different avenues, maybe of different types of fear, or maybe they fear something more than you, something else that's different than what you fear. But for me, it's just to hear other people have those type of like symptoms and the same type of fears of staying in your home, of agoraphobia, or being afraid to do new things, or always in defense mode of your health, always on guard of the next threat that your subconscious mind views as a threat. What I'm saying is your subconscious mind is always looking ahead. You're always very futuristic thinking with anxiety. You're either thinking in the past. If you're thinking in the past, you're usually depressed. If you're thinking in the future, you're really anxious, and you're really just replaying past images from the past because you think they're going to play out again in the future. And that's something that took me a while to figure out, and it's something I still learn with every day. Or excuse me, it's something I still am growing on and maturing in every day. Is that skill set of identifying, okay, maybe I'm in the same cycle. I'm just replaying past images because I fear a future. Maybe I have future scenario again. Maybe I have a similar scenario in the future coming again, and I'm starting to replay those past images, right? But having that awareness is a great start, because when you have that awareness, you start to realize, like, hey, okay, I see what this is now. I don't have to react the same way I did last time. Why do I not have to react the same way I did last time? Because I'm not the person I used to be. I'm not that anxiety, anxious worrywart anymore. I don't carry that identity anymore. I am more than anxiety. And when you start to do that, you start to build a self-empowerment. And self-empowerment is something that I had very low for a long time. And it's something that my counselor and I discussed when I started working with him back in, the end of August. And it was something I knew I needed to improve. The more I looked and reflected on myself, and my past, and why I was thinking the way I was thinking at the time. And again, this is back in August, when I really just kind of hit a low point. I had a really bad panic attack, like I mentioned in past videos, and it just really made me slow down, really stop to think, because I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I've had enough of this. Like, this ain't the life I'm trying to live. And when I started to really think, I said, man, my self-empowerment is really low. Your self-esteem is really low. You don't have trust in your body. You don't have trust in your mind. You don't have trust in... Really, your trust in anything's low. And most importantly, my trust in God probably wasn't as strong as it needed to be. And because I was really going through a spiritual battle, and mostly, and we all do, especially as Christians, and that's something we'll always go through, is being tempted by the devil, being put to the test. And our faith gets tested a lot of times, but it's what helps you prevail, what helps you persevere, what helps you stay true to who you are. And at that point in time, mine was kind of low. I didn't really know where to lean on. And so when I started to really look, okay, what are ways to build my self-empowerment? Well, a lot of times it's just looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, like, hey, I deserve to heal. I deserve to live a better life. I deserve to not carry anxiety around with me anymore. And that's what started happening for me when I started doing that. Was I was like, hey, I really don't have to carry this around anymore. I can think differently. And when you start to understand, when you study how your mind works, this conscious mind versus subconscious mind, and it's really just the subconscious mind is really just your inner child. What I mean by inner child, I'm talking from the ages of 0 to 7 years old, usually in that time frame, maybe a little older. That's where you learn maybe certain habits from your authority figures, or you react to certain things, or you know, some type of traumatic thing. And traumas can come in any way. Trauma could be something, you know, you maybe saw something very traumatic, or it could be something as little as maybe when you were 5 years old, somebody took like a toy or a book out of your hand, and it made you upset. You know, there's all different forms of trauma when you're a kid. There's different kinds of things that a kid can view as traumatic, or make them upset and sad. And, you know, and that a lot of times when we get older, a lot of the things start to come back and replay because it's a habit. It's what we think is true. And a lot of things that I thought was true when I was a kid, how to react to certain things when I got older to now 22 years old, I'm still learning. I'm 22 years old, I'm still very young, obviously. But I've realized a lot of things that I was acting on as habits that aren't true. You know, worrying about my health all the time. Okay, how do I worry about my health? Okay, I think I got to eat at a certain time. I feel like I got to eat a certain amount. I gotta drink this amount of fluids. I gotta do it. You know, especially as an athlete, those are things you're always told to protect. You know, take care of your body, recovery, and all those things. And you know, I kind of took that to extreme, and it became more of a phobia for me, and it affected my performance because sometimes I would be in the middle of games and I would start checking in with my body. I'd be more worried about I felt like I had to protect my body from an illusion I created in my head of a future possible physical ailment that could happen during the game or practice. And that fear it distracted my focus. My focus went more now towards, you know, this illusion, this subconscious mind threat in my head, where I should be more focused on the game and focused on what I need to do and focus on, you know, how to execute whatever I needed to do during the game or practice or whatever was being done. And it took me till I got out of high school, and you know, I really hit a low point and just had a lot of time to sit and think. And I realized, like, hey, this is what made me think like that during all those years. And I knew during those years when I was playing as a kid and a teenager, I knew something was not right, because I was, you know, I'd sit there and think to myself, why is, you know, nobody else, I don't see anybody else thinking about this. All my other teammates, they're all just playing free. Everybody's just, you know, go out there playing free and having a good time. Me, sometimes I'm sitting there worrying about other things, like my health. Like I'm a grown adult, and I'm like, you know, why do I think like this? And like I mentioned the one time, when I made the basketball team as a ninth grader, I was upset I made the team. Why was I upset? Because I was upset because I knew every day I felt like I had to be on guard of my health every day. And I didn't want to go through that. It was like, I got to the point, so much anxiety leading up to that tryout. And then during the tryout, that whole week, whatever couple of days it was, I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. It's just too much fear. Like, I was just like, okay, I don't want to play ball. I'm willing to give up basketball, which I love to do, to not have to go through managing this and coping with this thought all year. But I ended up playing, and I got injured in the beginning of the season. I got injured again in the middle of the season, which didn't help. And then, but all year long, though, it's just, and plus I'm in a new environment, around new people I don't know, and I made it more uncomfortable, and now I'm just managing and coping all year. And it got to the end of the year where, you know, midpoint the end of the year after my second injury, where I was, you know, it took me a while to even get back in rhythm again. I was just kind of like, you know what, forget about it. Let's just get through the rest of the year and just be done with this. And as you can see, my engagement and my focus and determination got really low because I didn't really believe in myself. And plus, at that time, I didn't know what was going on. Nobody around me knew what was going on. And so I kind of was just managing and getting by. But my belief and my confidence was lowering. And, you know, and it took me till years later when I got out to really reflect and look back. Really, I would say probably the last 2 to 3 years is when I really started to look back and really realize what was going on the more I learn, more information I learn. And I started to put it together that that's what was holding me back all those years. And like just hearing all these people reaching out to me the last couple of days online or phone call or text, whatever. Like I was saying, it's just amazed to hear all these people in similar situations. And a lot of people are still kind of where I used to be. I feel like I'm a long way now. I've come a long way now to where I feel like I've really started to turn the corner, and I'm really feel good where I am now, where I'm heading. I feel like I have good structure in place. I feel like now, especially, I've put that video one out publicly where I kind of, shared my whole testimony and where I've been and what I'm going through. I feel like I'm even more open now and just a lot of more support, and it's just really helped me to focus on what's true and really helped me to realize that I am very self-empowered through God, but most importantly through God, but also I can control my mind. I can control, you can't control what thoughts come in your head, but you can determine which ones you are going to identify with, which ones do you give energy to. And that's something I've learned recently and working on is, what are you giving energy to? And that could be in any forms of relationships. It could be thoughts that you come to your head. It could be habits. It could be anything. What do you give your energy to? And I like to view it as like each day, let's say you have 20 energy points per day. And a lot of times for a lot of people by 1 or 2 o'clock, they've already used 12 to 15 energy points. And that's why a lot of people by 1 to 2 o'clock, they're ready to go home and go to bed because they're just so tired, they're worn out, they're panicky, they deal with stuff like that, or, they're just very tired, very depleted. And again, this is every day for a lot of people. And I used to do it every day. That whole freshman year when my anxiety started to spiral, myself, my family, we all look back now, we were just doing way too much. Way too much. I mean, 7 days a week, nonstop. Just way too much. And we weren't giving enough time for ourselves. And sometimes we weren't doing things that, at least for myself, I wasn't doing things that I truly wanted to do. And I didn't feel like that whole year, I didn't feel like I was my true self at all. I feel like I was becoming somebody else that everybody else wanted me to be. And when I got up, like I said, it took me until the last couple of years to really get out of that and really identify that. But I think the best thing I could say too when it comes to that is, don't beat yourself up. Don't, for me, I had the perfectionist mentality to where everything was, if I made a mistake at something or if I did something that caused my anxiety, or if I couldn't figure something out, I always felt like I had to logically figure something out. You can't logically heal yourself. It just doesn't happen like that. It happens in time. A lot of times the answers show up in time when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, when you allow yourself to let go, and you start to build that trust slowly. And it takes time. It truly does take time. It can be hard at times because your patience really gets tested. And you're so used to doing the same thing over and over again, the same habits, that when you start to change those habits, replace them with new ones, you start to act as your new person, your true self. You start to act as that person. You speak as that person. It really, the inner child is, the body's trying to send, a lot of times that's why you get symptoms. Or you start to get irrational thoughts popping in your head, boom, boom, boom. Because that's your body's trying to look out for you. Because your body is trying to tell you that, hey, we view this as a threat. This is uncomfortable. This isn't how we usually act. We're going to send you these symptoms, these signals to let you know that. But when you have that awareness, now you start to accept. And you accept, okay, I'm going to have these thoughts hanging on. But I have new thoughts. I don't have to worry about my health anymore. I don't have to eat at a certain time. At least this is talking for me now. I don't have to eat a certain amount. I don't have to worry about always being on guard on my health, or worrying about what somebody else thinks, or worrying about the future and trying to control things. And when you start to talk more like that, empowered, and put your chest up a little bit and kind of stand firm, you start to slowly, over time, that becomes your new automatic response to things. That's just who you are now. You are not the old person you used to be. And your self-empowerment starts to build. And when your self-empowerment starts to build, now your confidence starts to build. And when your confidence starts to build, because confidence can waver. And this is something I heard recently about confidence. Sorry, I forgot to get a drink. Throat gets a little dry. You guys know what I mean. But, when your confidence starts to grow, sometimes your confidence can waver. And what I've learned about confidence recently is I heard from, it was the anxiety guy, one of his episodes recently, and he talks about, don't just key for confidence, look for certainty. Because when you're certain about things, there is no fear, there is no lack of trust, there's none of that. I'm certain now, I'm becoming more and more certain now that my health is great. I've had 3 doctors tell me have great health. I've had numerous people tell me I have great health. I've had and I've proven to myself, most importantly, that I have great health, because I've been through a lot. I put myself through a lot of, either through exercise or a lot of panic attacks, severe panic attacks, and my worst fears never happened. Yeah, my body might feel tired normally. It's a normal reaction when you push yourself. Your body's going to feel tired. That's okay. But your body also has a unique mechanism, and is so strong, and just it can recover itself. Your body can heal itself. And that's something that's very self-empowering, to think that my body can heal itself. And I can handle anything in this world. When you start to have that mindset, you start to think, man, I really can handle anything, because my trust in my body, my mind, my emotions, but most importantly, my spirit is so strong that I can handle anything. And now your whole creative world starts to open up. And when your creative world starts to open up, now you have that childlike mind coming into you. Not childish. Childish is kind of like what I was referring to earlier, is your childlike subconscious mind, childish thinking, and those fears maybe you have when you're younger. But a childlike mind is your creativity, kind of your true self, the fun part of you, and the part of you that wants to go out and do the things that you love to do. Like for me, go out and play basketball, or start a podcast like now, or I don't know, maybe go on a bike ride, go over to a friend's house, call somebody and see if they want to go meet up somewhere for dinner or something, or stuff like that, or get together people and go watch a game, or the things you truly want to do, not living in a bubble and yeah, I'd like to do this, but my anxiety, I think I'm gonna stay home tonight because my anxiety's a little too high. No, we don't do that no more. You're confronting things, and you face things. And again, this is something I'm still working on. I'm not perfect. I'm never gonna be perfect, but the more times I keep doing what I've been doing recently, the more I act in line with my new identity and what I want to do, then the more it becomes who I am. And now it is who I am. And then who I am is what I want to be, my true self. And now my self-empowerment really starts to build. And when you start to do that, yes, like I said, it feels weird at first, but I think there's certain skills to do that you can do that can help you get through. And talking to people, I've realized as well, a lot of people don't take care of themselves. Like, this was me for a while. We don't take care of ourselves either, maybe because we have a low self-esteem. We don't feel like we deserve help. I know there's people that are that low. And I didn't realize I was there for a while. And that maybe not low to where I feel like I didn't want to hurt myself. Yeah, I've never been like that. But as low where I felt like if I made a mistake, I had to almost self-punish myself. What I mean by self-punishment, I mean, I feel like I had to earn my way back to peace. I'd make myself maybe go on a bike ride to certain place, like that's self-punishment program going anyways. And the self-punishment program is something I've learned about from dentists, and it's a subconscious program that a lot of people run in their mind, and a lot of people run it and they act on it. It becomes a habit. They believe it's who they are. I can't have freedom until I do X, and or I don't deserve peace. I don't deserve to be free. And it kind of, you get to that low self-esteem. But a lot of people just, they don't take care of themselves when they do that, and they start to just have bad habits. And a lot of times in those bad habits, you maybe develop, you find comfort through eating food. You isolate yourself. Your social life goes down the tubes. All your relationships go on pause, or they start to dwindle away. Your trust in your body goes low. Everything around you just starts to kind of just shrink into this little bubble, this little world. And all you do is the same thing every day. You're not really living a creative life. You're not really, truly living the life you want to live. And you start to believe everything around you, your environment, the people, or anything outside of you, you believe is just bad. Or you start to think it's negative and you don't like it, and you start to hate things. And I've seen this with a lot of people. And for a while, I had a lot of similar things. I never had it like that as bad maybe as others, but I've been there though in a certain degree, is where, to where when all that stuff happened to me, I was angry for a long time. I was angry at a certain group of people. I was angry at people that I felt embarrassed me in front of my peers. I was angry for a while, and that anger turned into more anxiety. And I carried that around, but I wasn't helping myself. I was just not, I was allowing the fear and the anger, I was allowing the anger to grow and to help, and in turn, it made the fear grow larger. And, I think once I finally hit a point, like I said, to where I said, I got to change. Now I'm talking, when I first found the anxiety guy, that day let's say the day after, it was the day after I was supposed to go to a doctor's appointment, and I couldn't leave the house to go to the appointment. I was just, I was very agoraphobic at the time, and I just didn't want to go, and I was just kind of tired of the same old stuff. I was taking medicine, and again, I'm not anti-medicine, so I'll make that disclaimer. There's a time and place for medicine. I just want to put that out there. And but I was doing the same thing over and over and over again, and trying to help myself with my anxiety. I didn't even know how to cope at that point. I was just going through the system, I felt like I was going through the cycle, the system, and nothing was working. And I finally got to the point one day. I remember I was sitting in the car with my dad, trying to get me to go to the appointment, and I'm not going. There's no way I was going. I come, my doctor called me. I'm crying to her on the phone. My doctor's at the time, is still my doctor today, has been phenomenal, and she really worked with me a lot and was great. And she's like, "Hey, we'll be all right. I'll just come to your house to see you in a couple days. Everything's gonna be okay." But I knew I had to change something. I said, "Okay, I had enough of this." And it just took me one day. I just went on YouTube and just typed in anxiety in the search bar, and voila, there's Dennis, the anxiety guy. And like I said in the last video, or I believe it was the last video, after listening to the first episode I listened to, I was just like, wow, like this is what I needed to hear. This is what I've been searching for, was somebody who's been where I've been and knows exactly what I'm thinking, knows exactly what I'm talking about when I'm trying to, because at the time I'm trying to explain these things to my mom and dad and other people that hadn't been to that degree level of anxiety. They've gone through their own struggles and battles, but they didn't really understand fully what I was saying to them. They were trying their best to help, but nobody truly understood what I was talking about. Because, like I said, anxiety gives you weird symptoms, all these weird thoughts. You wonder how you're trying to figure out, why does my mind go this process like this? You know what I mean? And why do I act this way? And man, once I got found Dennis and started growing in that area, slowly my self-empowerment started to build. Slowly my confidence started to build. And then that confidence, after a couple years, started to turn into certainty, right? But I still, at the time, was just managing my symptoms. I got to the point where I was good at managing my symptoms. And I got to the point where I feel like I can push myself more and get through. But I was just trying to get through. And just trying to get through eventually caught up to me again in last year. And all the way up until now. Until recently. And now I've gotten to the point where, okay, yes, I've educated myself a lot, but I can't logically think my way through this. I have to start putting things into action. I need a good structure in place, support, being honest with myself, but also being honest with other people, and just really putting that old identity behind you and acting as who you want to be. And so for me, who I wanted to be were some of the people I looked up to. Like I mentioned, Laird Hamilton. Laird Hamilton, big wig surfer. But if you really get to watch Laird in interviews or get to know who he is, he's a very strong-minded, very self-empowered. You could tell he's very self-empowered. Doesn't mean he gets fear. He gets a lot of fear. He said, I've heard him talk about before he goes surfing, which is normal. Whenever, my God, before I came up and did my first episode, I was scared as you know what. But the body has like a mechanism. This is something I learned from Laird, when he talks about when he goes out surfing the big waves, maybe there's a big forecast of giant waves and he's a little nervous, because that's obviously a very dangerous sport in a lot of ways. And, for me, like when I came on for the first episode and I learned from Laird, is the body has a mechanism to really just kind of shut off everything else. And you really could just focus. It's almost hard to explain, but it's something you learn the more you challenge your fear. We don't, like I said earlier, I'm not running from these things anymore. I'm challenging these things because I know they're false. I know they're not real. I've gotten to the point now where I've said, okay, these things are not real. I'm not listening to you anymore, anxiety. I'm going to do what I want to do. And yes, it might be a little uncomfortable at first, but in the end, I know I'm going to have freedom. I'm going to be who I want to be. And the more I've done that, the more I've started to build more of my self-empowerment, more of my confidence, more certainty. Every day now, this is who I am, and I'm becoming who I truly am. But it's like I said, your body has there's only so much fear you can bottle up. You can bottle up so much fear, but eventually, like let's say you're having a day or a week, like I've been here. Let's say you're having a week. You wake up Monday. Let's say you have something big going on Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're just constantly thinking ahead, getting maybe anxiety attacks because you're so worried about the future. And then when Thursday comes, now you're really just like, you wake up Thursday, maybe you couldn't sleep all Wednesday night, and you wake up Thursday morning, you just have a bad panic attack. You don't know what to do. You're scattered thinking. You're just very depleted. You're tired. You're crying. You're lost. You don't know where to go. But eventually, at least, and I've been there, and that happened to me last week. Same Monday to Thursday. And when I woke up Thursday morning, what I had feared all week, I had a bad panic attack Thursday morning, and then when you have a bad panic attack, it's kind of like your body releasing all of that fear and emotion, letting it out. And they usually last about 15, 20 minutes. Like I said, it's like if you was like a storm on the horizon. You see a storm coming in. Say it's sunny out. You see a storm coming in. Then it starts to light rain. And then it goes over you. And then the storm hits its peak. It's thunder and it's windy. It's raining like hell. It's all this stuff going on. And then the storm passes. And then there's a rainbow. A lot of times, maybe there's a rainbow, or things just calm down. Things just slow down, right? And it goes from 0 to 100, and then back to 0. And a lot of times when you have those, get to that point towards the end of the panic attack, you start to really think like, why did I just fear? What just happened? And then for me, I started to realize, why did I just sit and bottle it. Was this real? I was afraid of was a panic attack. Okay, why was I afraid of a panic attack? Because I was afraid of embarrassment in public. Okay, why was I afraid of embarrassment in public? Well, because when I was 11 years old, I had an incident one time and I didn't know how to react to it, and I felt very embarrassed, and I thought there's something wrong with my health. And so you guys see how I connected all the dots there? You see what I'm saying? When you start to go from one thing to the next, it's almost like a spider web almost. You start at the initial branch, the initial thought. Okay, why am I afraid of a panic attack? Then take it to the next branch. Because I'm afraid of, well, let's say, I'm afraid of something happening to me. I'm speaking for myself now. This is what I've learned with me. Why am I afraid of something happening to me? Because I'm afraid of embarrassment. Okay, let's go down to the next branch, next part of the web. Why am I afraid of embarrassment? Because when I was 11 years old, see, now I got to the root cause. And when you get to the root cause, you can reframe these things. You can go back and realize what was really true and what wasn't true in your mind. All that fear you carried throughout the rest of your, however long, for me it was 11 years, I look back and I think that was false. But now, when you identify that, you start to reframe, you put the plan in place, you put the structure around you, and you start to just take it slow day by day. You start to build that self-empowerment. And that's really my message today is just, you can be who you truly want to be. You don't have to be the same person. You don't have to cope and manage the rest of your life. Coping and managing the rest of your life is that really a fulfilling life? You know what I mean? Like, is that really a fulfilling life you're almost just living life kind of just on a subconscious autopilot mode? That's not a fulfilling life. That's something I was doing for a while, but I was always disappointed because I wasn't doing the things I truly wanted to do. Now I feel like I can truly do the things I want to do. I'm getting there slowly. Now it's speeding up at times, which is fine. Like I said, healing's never really an end thing. Healing is a lifestyle. It's who you are. It's who you desire to be. It's your true self, who God intended you to be. And that's where I'm heading now. And that's where you guys are going to be heading. If you're still, maybe some of you are heading there now. We're all in this together. A lot of people, thank me for coming out in that first video and share my story and how it helped them. But I'd say, don't thank me. I would say thank God, because God used me and all the things I've gone through for now. And I thank the anxiety guy. I thank all the people that have helped me along the way to get to this point now, especially in the last 7 years. Because now if it takes what I've learned in my message, all the things I've learned from people, and what I'm telling you guys is helping you guys and making you guys realize that, hey, we don't have to live on autopilot anymore. We don't have to cope and manage our fear, just like how I learned from other people when I got to that point. Then that's great. I mean, it's still kind of surreal to hear people say that, my first video really helped them. But I knew it would help them, if that makes sense. Like, it's surreal. Part of me is kind of like, really? My video is helping people. But it also, I knew it would, because I knew something was leading me to do that. This is something I wanted to do for so long, but I was putting it off. And I got led to the point where it wasn't even planned. Like I said in the last video, that wasn't even planned. And one day, I just went out in the morning, something said, okay, today's the day. Like, no more waiting. And that's also part of the self-empowerment message I'm sharing today is you can start today. You can start right now. There's no certain day to start. You don't got to start, oh, well, maybe I got to go back and, learn. Just start today. Like, when is enough? And that's where I got. No, to me, enough. Like, I want to live a fulfilling life. I want to live the life I want to live. And you guys can live the life you guys want to live too. I don't have to be who anybody else wants me to be. I don't have to be who this world wants me to be. I don't have to be who social media tells me I have to be. I don't have to put on an image for other people. I am who I am, and I'm comfortable with who I am because I know who I'm becoming is who God created me to be. And I'm growing and learning every day. And I will continue to learn and grow throughout life. You're never a finished product. We're not perfect people, and we never will be. And so we're flawed. We have flesh within us. We have, we have things within us that, will always be flawed. But that's okay though, because, for me, I'm speaking for myself. Yeah, I might mess up. I may fall back. I may do something I may have not wanted to do, but Christ is always there. And when you think about that, it's very self-empowering because through Christ, all things are possible. Through Christ, the victory has already been won. Through Christ, I don't have to carry around that person I used to be anymore because I'm not the person I used to be. Christ views me as somebody who was deserving to be free because he died on the cross for me. He died on the cross for you. And I know I'm going spiritual here, guys, but I'm kind of making a point. And whatever you believe, maybe you're a Christian, maybe you're not, just have some type of connection to something. You gotta, you know what I mean? For me, obviously, it's the Christ. It's my Lord and Savior. But have that belief, have that connection to somewhere to help you start to grow. Like I said, you're never gonna logically think your way out of this, and that's a point that I got to. That for a while I was, not diving as deep into my faith as I needed to. Ever since Saturday now, I've gotten more into my Bible again. I've gotten more into studying, and it's just in a couple days I could already feel the difference. And not that I never did, but I didn't do it as much as I should have. But I've kind of got reminded again ever since I came out recently and did the video and just really sat and reflected about where I am and who I am and what I can be. That self-empowerment grew, but it's also made me go back to my faith and really just realize that you're always growing, and that through the Word of God, it's like putting on that armor every day, putting on the armor that it talks about in the Bible. And for me, for a while, like I wasn't doing that, and I was kind of just trying to solve things on my own. And right now, guys, I'm trying to process. It still is something that's I'm going through and processing and learning through. As you can see right now, I'm trying to think about what I want to say about when it comes to this kind of things. But really, it's just trust my plan I put in place. Trust the structure I put in place. Trust all the things that people have assured me many times about my health and all these other things, because like I've been saying, I can be who I want to be. I am self-empowered now because my self-empowerment is improving, because I've challenged all of these things. I know they're not real. I've challenged my fear. It's like I said in the last video. What does fear mean? False evidence appearing real. That's what fear means to me. It's an illusion. It's fake. And sometimes I think people view self-care as selfish. And this is kind of going back to people not taking care of themselves. I think a lot of people are afraid to take care of themselves because they feel like they don't deserve to take care of themselves. Why? Do we view it as lazy to maybe have a couple hours a day where you maybe just kind of sit and relax and get back to your body, your mind, maybe do a meditation? Or, do we think it's a selfish act to help ourselves? Well, I would say, how can you help people truly the way you want to help people if you're not taking care of yourself? How are you going to be a light to this world if you don't help yourself? You got to make sure you start with you and build yourself up. Now, do other people helping other people? I think is a great therapy. Loving acts, praying for somebody, helping somebody, calling somebody, some type of way. Yeah, that helps you a lot and is tremendous therapy for yourself. But you have to work on you and not just manage and try to get by life just trying to get by. Are you living to survive or are you living to live? And for a lot of years, I was just living to survive. But now I'm turning the point to where, I'm living because I truly want to live life. I want to live the life I want to live, and it took time. It took time to get to that point. But it's not as far away as you think it is. A lot of times it's right there. You just got to do it. And that's what last Saturday was for me. This mic was right here in this room. It was just up to me to go and do it. I was putting it off. Like I kept saying, I was putting it off. Like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm going to start it when I'm ready. When are you ever ready? You just got to do it. And that's what clicked in my head Saturday morning. And I just said, man, who cares how it looks at first? Let's just come up here and I'm just going to speak honest with you guys. Even if I can't, if I have moments where I'm trying to think about what I'm trying to say, or if it doesn't look if I stutter, or not stutter, but like, sometimes when you're up here talking, you're trying to think, you have 100 thoughts going in your head at one time. You're trying to put it all into one, I'm trying to get a point across to you guys. But I just said, who cares? That's what people like, because the people I've learned to love on YouTube that I watch a lot of podcasts, but the guys that I love the most, like Kwame Brown, Joey Diaz, and just so many guys, they're just very raw, unfiltered, and they turn on the camera and it is what it is. You know what I mean? People don't want the fabricated, at least for me, I don't want the, scripted, fabricated, just overproduced, just synthetic type of content anymore. That's not something I want to watch, because and it's kind of similar to what I was saying about people just managing and getting by through life. Are you just kind of like doing what everybody else does, or just trying to manage to get by, just living to survive? Or are you going to put yourself out there and allow yourself to be who you want to be, and be raw and be unfiltered and just be yourself and live the life that you want to truly live? You're living to live. You get up every day and you enjoy living life. Every day is an opportunity. And that's a great place to be. Because once you get to that place, your self-empowerment is so high that your confidence, you're so certain now, your belief in yourself. And yes, I expect setbacks on this journey. Yes, it doesn't mean every day is just so, on Zen mode, but you know how to get through those things now. You're very neutral about things. You're not too high, you're not too low. You're very neutral. You may be going through something like that's a little challenging. You're going through it and you're like, but I'm okay. I'm good. I got this, right? That's where you're going now. That's where I'm going. And that's where I've been working towards. And now I feel like I'm at that point now where I can really just be neutral about things. And you guys can too. And, and that's kind of my message for today is, you don't have to go through life on autopilot anymore of these subconscious programs. You don't have to carry that around with you anymore. And one thing, too, I want to say real quick is, there's no age limit for healing. I don't care if you're 70 years old, 50 years old, 20 years old, whatever age you are, you can change at any point in your life. And if anybody's ever told you otherwise, it ain't true. Like, I've seen miracles all the time from people through Dennis's program. I've heard of so many testimonies. I've seen a lot. And like, for one example, another person I've started to watch recently, for you guys looking for breathing techniques, is Wim Hof. Wim Hof is probably the most powerful person I've seen online when it comes to breathing. Because if you can that's really key, like I've been saying, is mastering your breath, having mindfulness skills, mindfulness skills, loving acts, and those are the two things that I've learned recently and become more aware of. And part of mindfulness is just taking a deep breath, slowing down, getting grounded in your environment, and then when you start to slow things down, then you can start to think more rationally, right? And you can start to focus on what's true and kind of refocus your mind back on what makes you happy. The happiness, it's kind of like two screens almost. And there's one screen that says doubt, and there's another screen that says happiness. But a lot of times we can tend to veer to look that way. When we need to slow our mind down and put it back forward and focus on the front screen, which is what's true, which makes you happy, what makes you at peace, right? And so, but that's the last thing I want to say is, I don't like when I hear that, when people say, well, I'm something years old now, I can't. You can change at any age. Like, you still have, start now. I don't care how many years, if it's been 70 years, how many years it's been. Start now. Like, start today. You deserve it. Like, you deserve to heal. You deserve to feel better. You deserve a better life than you've lived. Not saying that the life you've been living is bad, but you don't have to live on this autopilot anymore. You don't have to just cope and get by. You can heal, and you can truly be who you want to be. And what not a better day than today. Start now. And that's something I've really learned the last, 4 days, ever since Saturday. I just went out there and I said, I'm starting today. And now, it's unlocked my creativity, and just, I've had so many just feelings I haven't had in so long, and just, it's almost hard to describe, just this feeling I've had the last 4 or 5 days, ever since Saturday. And it's just, it's unbelievable when you just take that leap of faith, and, like I said, the truth will set you free. And that's something I've learned the last couple of days, and it's something I will continue to build off of, and getting towards where I want to be. And, I will get where I want to be. There's a lot of things in life I haven't done yet. I've never dated. So, for a while I thought, oh gosh, I'm 20 years old, I've never dated yet. I will date eventually. It's something I want to do. Most people want to do. It's, natural part of us. And I pray about it to God, and when the time comes, whoever that person is, He brings to my life, and maybe get married one day, God will bring it in, and it will happen at the right time. But for now, I'm going to stay focused on helping myself, and whenever that time comes, it can be whenever. Just like Saturday. I was putting out the podcast for a while, and then one day I got to the point where I said, today's the day. Like, I'm not putting it off anymore. And so, your time will come, but start today. You don't have to wait anymore. Just start today. And you'll start to see, guys, slowly and surely, you'll start to see the progress start to build. And, if you need any links or help, you can always hit me up online. If you have my phone number, or Instagram, Facebook, you can message me on there. Like I said, I'll keep things confidential if you want. Whatever it is. Or go on to Anxiety Guy's YouTube, The Anxiety Guy online. There's so many resources online, guys. There's so much. There's help is there. Like, you're never isolated. You're never alone. It's always right there in front of you. You just don't see it right now, but trust me, it's there. You just gotta take that step to do it. Just send that text. Make that phone call. Go online and make that search on YouTube to, let's say, The Anxiety Guy, and you'll slowly start to see, guys. You'll start to feel that confidence will start to grow. Your empowerment will start to grow. And your world will just start to open up, guys. I promise you. I've been there. And like I said, I'm still working on it. I'm still going through it. But I could see it. Like I said, I could see it now. I know I'm almost there. I know I'm turning the corner. I know I'm heading to where I want to be. I am the person I want to be. I'm becoming every day the person that I desire now. And you guys can too. And so that's all I got today. Please like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I make a new one, you get an alert when that video drops. And share this video as well. If somebody out there that needs it, that you feel like, so if there's anybody out there who needs to hear this message or my past videos, past videos. Feel free to share those. Yeah, man, that's all I got for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.